Hello guys, it's TIE Fighter 77 here with another tutorial on creating custom content for Zombicide Classic. Today I'm going to be talking about how to create custom dual wield symbols for weapons. When you create a custom weapon, maybe you want it to be dual wieldable, so you need to be able to do this so that it looks like the official ones. So hopefully this will help out. It's not too hard. So I've got my classic equipment card template here. And this template, let me hide the splash screen. This template can handle weapon cards and item cards. We're dealing with weapons today, so let's open up that group. And you'll see a dual wield group. We'll open up that group. And then we've got official and custom. The official is what you'd expect. It's examples of all the official dual wield symbols. You can see, if I zoom in here a little bit, that they all have slightly different scratches and slightly different positions, and that's because they tend to be just to the left of whatever the title of the weapon is. In the case that it's super long, like Zomb Knuckles over here, it's going to pop down below. Or if it's two-line but still short, like the Claw Hammer, it's going to split the difference. So anyway, no big deal. We're not using official stuff. I don't know why you'd use them unless you just didn't want to bother making your own, but it's good examples. So we won't worry about official. We want to talk about making your own custom symbol. So in this custom folder here, we've got 4 layers. One of them that says note is just these instructions, much more simplified, but we like videos better, right? They're easier to follow. So the other 3 layers are what matter for us today. The first one is the weapon mask, which is this white silhouette of these 2 revolvers here. And that's the most difficult part of this, but it's not hard. Then you got the scratch mask, which is obvious what that is, and then of course the red dot for the background. So let's go about making our custom weapon into a dual wield symbol. So the first thing you're going to need, of course, is a transparent background PNG of your weapon. Hopefully you already have it if you're creating a weapon card. I'm just going to open up one that I've got here, which is a blunderbuss. Now you wouldn't dual wield a blunderbuss, I don't think, but maybe there's some pirate that did it at some point. But anyway, it's what I've got, so we'll make an example with it. So I want to compare it to the sawed off here. So I'm going to take note of the angle that it's at and that it's symmetrical, and like the gap between the edges, although we won't need to worry about that just now. And this gap here where the left sawed off overlaps the right sawed off is this clipping gap here. We're going to have to recreate that, but it's fairly simple. So first I'm going to put this off to the side of my screen. I can still see it. I'm going to want to get the right angle on this blunderbuss. So I'm just going to select that layer and press Ctrl T to transform. And I'm just going to angle it about where I think is cool. I'm trying to follow the official one. And let's move it over a little bit and press enter. Now I need to double it to make the other one. So I'm just going to, this is selected, so I'm going to press Control J to duplicate that layer, and then Control T to transform that layer. And up here in width box, I'm just going to put a minus sign, and that's going to reverse it. So minus 100%. And there, I've got it reversed. I'm going to need to spread out just a little bit here, because if you see on this one, it's pretty symmetrical, right? So I want to try and do that with this if I can. I don't want to get those triggers too close together, so I guess I'm probably going to stop right there. So now what I need to do is create that gap. Now it's important that I put the one on the left above the one on the right, and the only reason why, hey kitty, the only reason why is because they do it always on the left, overlapping the right on the official one, so if you're a stickler about that. But we'll do it that way too. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to duplicate. Oh, she's climbing on my shoulder. Hi, butt in my face. So the way we're going to do that is duplicate this top left-hand blunderbuss, and I'm just going to select that layer and press Control J, and then I'm going to create a stroke on it. That'll give us that gap that we need. So I'm going to double click that layer to open up layer styles, head over to, oops, not color overlay, stroke, and that's actually a pretty good width already. Let me look at the example. Maybe it could be like a little bit thicker, maybe something like that. And it doesn't matter what the points are because that depends on the resolution of your thing. But anyway, so that's probably pretty good. So because this is on a copy of the left-hand blunderbuss, it's okay for us to mess with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this so that the stroke is part of the image. And the easiest way for me to do that is just right-click and convert to Smart Object. So now what I can do is I can select the contents of that layer. And I can do that just by holding the Control button and left-clicking the thumbnail of the layer that I want the content of. So if I do that, you can see it's selected that whole area, and because the stroke is now a flattened part of that image, it selects that too. So you can see where I'm going here with this. I'm going to hide that layer, and I'm going to hide this one too, and select the bottom layer, and I'm just going to press delete. And now, boom, that part of the blunderbuss is gone. I can put the left one back up, and you can see we've got the profile that we wanted. And I don't need this copy anymore, so I'm going to delete that. But I do need these two layers to be merged, so I'm going to right-click and say Merge Down. Now they're on the same layer, and I'm going to apply an overlay, color overlay to it by double-clicking the layer, and then Layer Styles, Color Overlay. And you can see the shape that we've got here, and that's pretty good. I don't know, that's a little bit weird right there, but it is what it is. Okay. So we want this to be white. It makes it hard to see here, but it'll help us when we get back to the other template. All right, and now I'm just going to flatten this one as well. So I'm just going to right-click, convert to Smart Object, and let's bring this over to our other. I don't need that. To our other template. So I'm going to right-click on the layer and say duplicate layer and select the equipment card template and say OK. And hopefully I had the right layer selected over here so it didn't go someplace crazy. No, it went all the way to the top. So let's drag it down here above weapon mask, is where we want it. And you can see it's huge. No biggie, we can resize that. So let's Control T to transform. Get this about right. Something like that. Let's hide the example mask here. That looks pretty good, actually. Maybe a little off center. Yeah, that's not bad. So now I've got my weapon silhouette, which was the hard part, and now you know that I look at it compared to this. I can see I did not make that border thick enough, that clipping border. So, keep that in mind. Anyway, now we want to deal with the scratches. And the reason why is, let's say you've made a couple of these. You don't want the scratches to look the same on all of them. So all you have to do is select the scratch mask, and you can just move it around to get a different look, or you can rotate it if you want. I wouldn't advise scaling it, because if you do that, the scratches will maybe not look similar to the official ones, but you just move it around until you find something that you're fairly happy with, and enter. I'm going to stick with that. And now I just need to delete the white areas from the red dot in the background. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to try and keep using the same copy of the equipment template, you probably want to make a copy of that background dot. I'll just do it now for the heck of it. because that's the one we're going to edit. Okay, so how do we delete those areas from the red dot? It's the same way we deleted the gap in the back blunderbuss. I'm going to hold down Control and Shift as well this time because I want to select more than one, the contents of more than one layer. So Control and Shift, Command and Shift, I guess, on the Mac. And I'm going to left click the thumbnail of the layers I want. So this layer one, I should have renamed that blunderbuss mask, but I didn't. I click that and I've selected the blunderbuss content area, and then I want the scratch mask, so I'm going to click that thumbnail. And so then I've got all of those, the contents of both of those layers selected. Let's hide those layers so we can just see the red dot. And now all we have to do is, as long as we're on the right layer selected, just press delete, and there we have it. There's our pretty cool looking dual wield symbol. Okay guys, hopefully that's helpful, and I hope you enjoy making your own custom stuff. Keep it coming, I love to see it, and have a good day.